Hey, okay, so now it's time to go over compound interest. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna start off, we're gonna read our problems. Again, go ahead and start taking notes on these, especially if all of this is brand new to you. It shouldn't be, but just in case, start taking some notes just so you have something to look back at when you're doing your test review. Okay, so right now we're going to be reading about Martha. And it says that Martha makes an investment of $500 into an account that pays 6% interest compounded. Compound interest. So which amount is closest to her account balance to what her account balance would be after 3 years? So I'm going to go back through and I'm going to start circling my important information. So Martha makes an investment of $500. That's how much she's putting in into an account that pays 6% interest compounded. That tells us exactly what formula to use. We're doing compound interest. Which amount is closest to her account balance after 3 years? So we are doing compound interest. So we know that my formula is A is equal to my principal, my capital P, and then you're in parentheses, 1 plus my R for my interest rate with T as my exponent. So just like before, and like always, we want to go ahead and we want to start figuring out what is our P, what is our R, and what is our T. Okay? So we're going to start off. What was our principal? How much money did we start off with? How much money did she put into the account to begin? Well, she put $500 into her account. So our principal was $500. Let's see, her account pays 6% interest. Again, we need to take that percentage and turn it into a decimal. So you can divide by 100, or we can take our decimal, and we're gonna move it 2 places to the left, and we're gonna fill in zeros in all of the blanks. So we're gonna have 0.06 as our interest rate. So our interest rate is 0.06, and T is our time. This is going to be after 3 years. So now we know this is exactly what we need to start typing into our equation if we are solving for A. Well, A stands for account balance. So go back, reread our question. Whoop. And it says which amount is closest to what her account balance would be after 3 years. So our A stands for account balance. So we are able to solve our problem just like this. So we're going to go into our Desmos and we're going to type in our 500, then our parentheses, 1 plus 0.06, close our parentheses, and 3 is our exponent. So let's go ahead, let's go to our Desmos. And we had our principal was 500. Gonna move this guy out of the way. 500. Open our parentheses, 1 plus our interest rate was 0.06. Close our parentheses. Now we need to add our exponent. Remember, we're going to click on this guy right here with the little b. And our time was 3 years. So our exponent is going to be 3. So right away, we know that our total account balance was $595, and it looks like, well, our 8's going to round our 0, and about 51 cents. So let's go back to our slides. We have $595.51. So B is going to be our answer. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead, we're going to move on to our next slide, and it's going to be talking about a little bit, something a little bit different. I cannot talk, I'm so sorry. Okay, so again, just like our video with our simple interest, we're going to be using a really similar problem, but as we get down to our question, things get a little bit different, okay? So we're still talking about Martha. And Martha is making her investment of $500 into an account that pays 6% interest compounded. Again, compounded is super important. That is telling us exactly which formula that we want to use. So it's asking what amount is closest to the amount, I'm going to say that's supposed to be an F, the amount of interest that she will have earned at the end of 3 years. So again, we're still using the same formula. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just write all that out. Let's get all of our information put together. So our A, our final account balance was equal to P, open parenthesis, 1 plus R for our interest rate with T as our exponent. And luckily, we are already familiar with our numbers, okay? So we know that P, our principal, is 500. Just to recap, our 6%, we need to change that to a decimal, so move your decimal 1, 2 places and fill in your zeros. I'm telling you, my dog likes to be involved in everything. Jenny, thank you. All right, so our interest rate was 0.06. And then our time was 3 years. So once again, we're just laying out all of our information just makes everything so much easier, okay? So compound interest, we have our formula, we have our principal, our interest rate, and our time. But we need to reread our question just to make sure we really know what they're asking for. So it says, what amount is closest to the amount of interest that she will have earned at the end of 3 years? Well, just like we talked about on our last slide, this A is talking about our final account balance. But our question is asking about interest. So to find our interest for compound interest, this is totally different from simple, we have to take our final account balance and we want to subtract what we started with. So we want to subtract our principal. Well, luckily, didn't we just plug all these numbers into a calculator? Yes, we did. So again, we have our 500, our parentheses, 1 plus 0.06 with our interest rate, close your parenthesis. 3 will be your exponent. So 500, open parentheses, 1 plus 0.06, close your parenthesis. 3 is your exponent. So that was our total account balance. So our total account balance, I'm going to rewrite my formula. Let's use a different color. So we're still solving just for our interest. So we're going to take our $595.51 and we're going to subtract our principal. We want to subtract what we started with. So minus 500. Because 500 was our principal, 500 is what we started with. So we go back to our Desmos calculator and we need to subtract our principal. So subtract 500. So the amount of interest that we earned was $95.51. So we come here, we drag this over our answer, and that is how we solve for the amount of interest when we are talking about an account that has compound interest, okay? Remember, there's a huge difference between finding the account balance and then finding your interest. So hopefully this video helped you out a little bit. If you have any questions, make sure you ask your teacher, and good luck on your test review. All right, bye guys.